do you cure cancer? Fiverr. How do you go to the moon? Fiverr. It's all let me save us time here.
Let's stop it there. You may know him. His name is Gary Vee. The previous clip was a promotion from 2016 when he discussed Fiverr on his Ask Gary Vee YouTube channel. I'll include the full video in the link below, along with the other clips in this video as well. Social media awareness is one edge, one tactic I use that analysts on Wall Street may not factor into their research. Whether it be YouTube videos, Instagram posts and stories, or Twitter trends, I'm a big believer that this awareness is crucial to go along with the rest of a company's growth story, fundamentals, and technicals prior to building a position in the stock and becoming a part owner. Hear that again, part owner of a company. I believe you need that mentality when you decide to invest your money in all stocks. In this video, I go over my first stock purchase, Fiverr. Once again, my decision. Don't misconstrue this as investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor. These are my opinions, and this shouldn't be misconstrued as any financial advice whatsoever. What better way to kick off this video with an introduction to the CEO of Fiverr.
For those that aren't familiar with what you do, you're connecting buyers and sellers of digital services. What does that mean?
Correct. So basically, Fiverr connects freelancers with businesses of all sizes. And really the uniqueness of the platform is that the experience of buying a digital service on Fiverr is very similar to shopping on Amazon. You browse, you search, you find something, you click order, and it's done.
If you're new to the channel, you'll know that I started building a position in Fiverr back in episode 2. I bought 4 shares, and then in episode 3, I bought another 4 shares, which brings my cost basis to $24.50 per share. For this episode, I deposited another $100, bringing my public account value to $311.03. Let's continue to listen in to an interview back in 2016 where the CEO goes over the origination of Fiverr.
We started the company in Israel. We were very proud of that. We made a point to treat the company as a global organization from day one because we thought that this is going to be a global platform. And so we didn't want it to be culturally tied into any specific location. We wanted anyone who uses the platform to feel at home.
Okay, so they have global aspirations. Check.
You have widespread global distribution. How many countries did you say? 100?
Over 160.
What are the engines of growth in that sort of global picture?
Well, it's really the adoption of freelancing online. The offline freelancing market is massive. We've estimated that market to be $100 billion in the US alone. Europe is 1.5 times bigger than the US. There's over 162 million freelancers between the EU and the US. So the opportunity is massive, and it's just starting to come online. This is like 1995 for e-commerce.
So
it's so exciting.
What kind of services are the most popular?
Well, graphic design is one, content marketing, videography and animation, music services, marketing and advertising, anything you can imagine. It's the everything store for digital service.
So they provide an e-commerce platform for the service industry, specifically for freelancers that may do logo design, social media, voiceover, translation, illustration. Those are only a couple of many, many, many categories.
I see voiceover work as one of the squares we're looking at. So I'm looking to create. Exactly. So if I wanted to do voiceovers on the side, I would upload a demo of my voice, and then others would be able to sample it and hire me within minutes if they wanted to.
Within one click. So basically the system helps you productize your offering, so you can define what you're offering, how much time it's going to take you to deliver, and the asking price. And basically all that buyers have to do is they screen through the offerings, they find something they like, they click order, pay, and that's done.
Here's a little bit more detail about the categories. Keep in mind this interview was completed back in 2016. He discusses about the growth potential.
Each category, by the way, when you look at the total available market of each of our category, it's high double digit in the billions. I mean, take graphics and design, translation, music production, video, and so forth. And it's a very, very fast growing market. So it's over 100 categories. There's super high cross-category effect because most of our customers are SMBs, small and medium-sized businesses. And so they need a lot of what we have to offer.
So exactly how does Fiverr.com make revenue? Let's listen in.
Subscription model, you take a cut of the contract. How does that work?
So basically we take a take out of every transaction, and it's one of the industry leading take rates of over 26%.
Let's see what Gary Vee thinks about the take rate. This clip from the Gary Vee show was completed back in 2016, so you'll notice that the take rate has gone up from 20% all the way up to 26% currently.
How do you cure cancer? Fiverr. How do you go to the moon? Fiverr. It's all let me save us time here. Here's why I'm curious. At the scale that you guys are now, not 5 or 6 years ago, 4 years ago, giving up 20% for that attention, no different than an eBay or an Amazon, I think is very minor for the exposure. And I think there's a Fiverr and things like Fiverr, but you guys are at scale, since why you're sitting here, and social media combo, that if you can make that 1 + 1 = 4, there's something very real there.
Micha goes over how this isn't his first rodeo and his first internet business. Listen in.
There were some defining moments in growth. Given that it was not my first internet business, we were just two founders. We started the business. We've hacked the entire thing ourselves. We coded it. We designed it. And that was a process.
In this clip, the CEO went over a story of his key to success when starting Fiverr.com. He wanted to grow organically and virally, and here's a little brief explanation of when he started first seeing his site hit the airwaves.
It went to TechCrunch, NoEffect, Lifehacker, stuff like that. And then a reporter from the Wall Street Journal approached me for the first interview. Now, the great thing about the Wall Street Journal is not the fact that it has a ton of traffic, but the fact that they do great syndication of their content. And therefore, what happened was that from Wall Street Journal, it got syndicated, and it hit the Yahoo homepage. And that was the first form of Fiverr.
And here's a brief description of exactly what Fiverr.com is.
We're an e-commerce business, we're a catalog business. So what we've created is what we call the service as a product concept, which is, it's almost like a new language, a new operating system that allows those sellers, those talented, creative individuals to package their skills as very well-defined products. Scope, timing, price. When you do that, they become items on our catalog. And now we manage a catalog. We don't manage a labor market.
In this clip, Gary Vee asks a great question of the transition from the $5 business model.
Originally, all the services were $5.
That's correct.
I think now that is not the way it is anymore, right?
That's correct.
How did you, obviously you opened it up, and obviously somebody who thinks the thing that they're willing to do, a logo or things like that, if they want $30, you had to open up that marketplace. That makes sense. Even when you guys launched,
here's a great explanation by the CEO on their reasoning of why they opened up the $5 business model.
Building simple products is the hardest thing you can do. It's really hard. So we came up with this concept that $5 was taking another layer of the friction. Why? Because price negotiation is another friction. So we said, no, we're not going to have that. We're going to have a single price. People are smart enough to slice their talent, their creativity in small doses they can do really quickly. And this lasts for about a year. And then 4 or 5 years ago, we started expanding this. And today we're doing every day transactions of $10,000 and around that area. So for a single transaction.
And here's a great question about the path to profitability.
What's the path toward profitability?
Well, if you look at the EBITDA margins, you see that they're shrinking. So the way we actually structure the business is that we continue to grow aggressively while shrinking our negative EBITDA, and there is a clear path to profitability. In the categories in which we operate, there is a volume of activity of $100 billion in the US alone. And it's still single digits percentage online. It's very old school business. The way people usually find freelancers is they post on Facebook if someone knows a good graphic designer. In a sense. But what we're doing is we're making it a one-click experience. There's no bidding, vetting, negotiating. There's browse, search, buy. It's an Amazon experience to buy a digital service. Nobody has done it before. The average time to make an order on Fiverr is 15 minutes. This is unbeatable. It's unmatched.
Just so you know, all of the CNBC clips that are in this video were actually taken back in June 2019 when Fiverr originally IPO'd. You'll notice the stock price was $28.53 at that time. And here's a reasoning of exactly why they ended up IPOing.
We're not here for day one. We're not here for the opening price. We're here for the long haul. And that's how we think about the business. So I think that in general, the markets are good. The reception is great. The opportunity is amazing. The growth is high. And so I think that this is a great opportunity for us to have that growth while gaining the market trust.
Competition is always important to factor in when making investment decisions, so let's tune in and hear about that.
Who's your primary competitor?
Definitely the offline market. I mean, I don't know if it's 96 or 97% of the activity offline, but we don't need to eat anyone's lunch to grow. We just need to move offline activity to the online.
So when a stock hits the market for the very first time, there's a lot of capital that's raised. Let's listen in to exactly what the plan is to do with all this capital.
And then finally, proceeds. What are you going to do with the currency you've raised today?
So it's mostly working capital. It's really to fuel our additional growth and our path to profitability.
So Gary Vee teamed up with Fiverr for a promotion campaign back in 2016. I think it's a great source to review other outside opinions on the business model itself. Keep in mind, Gary Vee in this video is not including any investment advice at all. It's just totally his opinion and his thoughts on Fiverr.com. So let's listen in.
I don't team up for contests or be the face of things ever. And I did it in 2 seconds because I believe in the thesis. I'm not in the let's make a commercial I'm in the content business. You need to go down the rabbit hole of what these guys do for a living because I know my audience, and for 80% of you, there's something meaningful that this platform can do for you that will be good for your business.
Gary Vee goes over what caught his attention about Fiverr.com, as well as his comparison to his company, VaynerMedia.
5's my favorite number, by the way, so that was originally caught my attention. And second, I just believe in this. It's really no different than VaynerMedia. We do everything that the biggest agencies in the world do a lot cheaper because we created a process. Now, you did it better because it's software and it's marketplace. I'm doing it a little bit different because I'm building it for myself. Different story, different day. I see this social media I guess what I see is if you're a designer or songwriter, things of that nature, using the Fiverr URL on your Instagram to drive people there to create transactions around your free creative in an Instagram environment could be quite interesting. It's a very subtle way to throw a right hook without it doing, especially because of the oomph now. There's a lot of Fiverrs. I'm sure there's a lot of marketplaces out there, but this now has the oomph in the same way that a Facebook or something of that nature or an Amazon has. There's a lot of bookstores on the internet. Once something hits scale and it's the brand, you take advantage of that.
And to wrap up, is this stock recession-proof?
Trying to think of risk factors here. I mean, where global recession, let's just take an example, right? What happens to digital content in that case, right? What are the risk factors?
Well, I hate to think about us as being counter-cyclical, but I think that we can actually benefit from a recession. I wouldn't want to test that theory, but I think that in a downturn, what would happen is that more people are going to look for ways to make money, so the supply is pretty obvious, and more businesses would like to focus on getting things done rather than hiring people. On Fiverr, you don't hire anyone. You buy very well-defined.
So there you have it. There's just a few clips with information about Fiverr.com. Make sure to look out for future videos of some other factors I look into prior to building a position in a company. As always, read the disclaimer fully, do your own research, and make your own decisions. I'll see you in the next one.